Good morning, year one and year two. Welcome back to your English Lessons Live with me, Mr. Phillips. It's Tuesday morning and it's time to do some reading. Hope you're all alright this morning. Enjoying our week so far. Hope you had a good Monday. If you haven't got a copy of the book yet, go down into the description and there's a link to our book today, which is Iggy, Peck and the Mysterious Mansion. That's our book for today. Remember, I will still be putting everything on the screen, so if you just want to just watch it on the screen, that's absolutely fine as well. Make sure you've got a pencil and a piece of paper to be writing down your answers with as well. Okay, so our reading today, the question is Iggy, Peck and the Mysterious Mansion. This is our book today. It's quite a wordy book. We're only going to read a small section of it, but it is quite a wordy book. So I've picked a bit of a challenge for our Tuesday morning reading session today. Shall we have a little look at our first section? Our first section is the predict section. I predict that. I'm going to move myself up into the corner so I'm out of the way the whole time. I predict that. What do we think this book, Iggy, Peck and the Mysterious Mansion, is going to be about? Have a little think. What do you think this book is going to be about? Maybe use some of the picture to help you, and definitely use the title, especially this little extra bit here. That's really going to give us some helpful clues. When you think you know, or you're having a guess, remember it doesn't matter if it's right or not. Can you write down or tell the person you're with what you predict the story is going to be about today? And remember to use the starter, I predict that. Okay, pause the video there and have a go at doing that for me now. Okay, so I'm going to have a go now. It doesn't matter if our predictions are different. Okay, we all predict different things, and it doesn't matter. We just have a little think before the text starts. So, Iggy, Peck and the Mysterious Mansion. Well, I'm going to assume that this boy here is Iggy Peck. And the fact that he's holding a flashlight here, a torch, very American flashlight, isn't it? And the Mysterious Mansion. I assume he ends up in like a creepy house, maybe, and he has to search around using his light to see. He's obviously got a cat as well, so that might be his like little companion. He's got a pencil behind his ear, so maybe he's an artist. Maybe that's the reason he went to the house in the first place. Who knows? That's what I predict, though. So I predict that this book is going to be about an artist who went to the mansion to draw it, maybe? I think so. Maybe he's gone to draw some pictures and then he's got lost in the mansion. That's what I predict. So I predict that this book is about an artist who goes to a creepy mansion and gets lost. That's what I predict that this book today is going to be about. Okay? Doesn't matter if yours wasn't the same, and it doesn't matter if mine's wrong. We're just having a little think before we start. Okay? Right. Now it's time to read our book. So we've had a little bit of a predict what we think it's going to be about. Now it's time to read our book. I'm going to get it up really nice and quick for us there. There we go. Iggy, Peck and the Mysterious Mansion. And there's that picture again, that title. I'm going to skip all this beginning bit. Here we go. Chapter 1. I'm going to read it to you. Have a little listen. Remember, at any point you can pause the video or go back to have a little listen to something I've already read to you, okay? Here we go. Chapter 1. Iggy Peck sat on a log and studied the giant oak towering above him. A chilly wind rattled the golden leaves and sent them tumbling one by one onto the forest floor. Iggy's cat, Bricks, chased the leaves with a loud meow. Iggy did not notice. He was busy designing a treehouse. Iggy Peck was an architect, and he designed houses everywhere he went, even the forest. This oak is perfect for a Victorian mansion, said Iggy. Ooh, said Iggy. "That elm tree needs a cottage, and that maple needs a bungalow, or a castle." Iggy unclipped his paper and flipped it over. Before he could clip it down again, whoosh! The wind ripped the paper from his hand and sent it flying through the forest. "Hey!" cried Iggy. There's Iggy and his piece of paper that's blown away with all his designs on. "Meow!" cried Bricks. Iggy and Bricks scrambled after the paper, which tumbled deeper and deeper into the dim woods. Whack! Iggy's sneaker hit a root and he tripped. The clipboard flew out of his hand as Iggy stumbled and tumbled head over heels down, down, down the hill. "Whoa, whoa!" he yelled. Iggy slammed into something very hard beneath the leaves. He sat up and rubbed his shoulder. "Ouch!" he said. Bricks hissed. "What's wrong?" Iggy started. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew away the leaves and revealed what Iggy had hit. "Whoa!" he said, staring into a pair of stone-cold eyes. And this is what he hit. 3 white marble cats. One called Whimsy, one called Happiness, and one called Wonder. He's made a little note at the bottom there. You can see it says they're a bit like Bricks. So these cats are a little bit like his cat. Okay, so now we've had a go at reading it and we know what the text is about. There's a couple of tricky words in there that I would like for us to clarify. Go back to the PowerPoint. So, our prediction wasn't massively correct. He was an architect, not an artist. But we maybe got the right idea. Clarify. Well, here we go. Our 4 words to clarify today are architect, scrambled, dim, and gust. So let's start with the first one, this one here, architect. What do you think architect means? What do you think an architect is? It's said that Iggy was an architect. Can you remember what that person did? If you can, pause the video and maybe write it down or tell someone who's with you. So an architect is someone who designs buildings. Oh, we've lost it behind the picture there. Someone who designs buildings. Someone who comes up with how they're going to be built. It's not the person who actually builds them, it's the person who designs them. So Iggy was an architect and he liked to design tree houses in the forest. And he was someone who designs and draws up the plans for buildings. So that's what an architect is. Quite a difficult word, that one, architect. Next word down here is scrambled. It's said that Iggy and Bricks scrambled through the forest. What do you think scrambled might mean in that context if you scrambled through the forest? Have a little think. And if you think you know the answer, pause the video there and write your answer down. Okay, so if someone scrambled or was scrambling, okay, it means they're trying to move quite quickly. Normally we think of scrambled as in kind of maybe crawling or trying to do something really desperately and struggling. You might try and scramble over some rocks, or you might scramble through the undergrowth. It means kind of moving in a quick way, maybe a bit panicked and desperate. It kind of gives the idea of panic, and kind of to scramble means to and then run away. To move in a desperate, panicked, quite quick, quite kind of wild way. It's quite a good word that. Instead of kind of ran away, they scrambled away or something like that. It's a good word to steal there if you've got the right context for it. Next one is dim. It describes the woods or the forest as dim. What do you think that means? If you think you know, write it down and pause the video. Okay, so if they entered the dim forest, it means they were entering, it wasn't quite dark, but it was getting there. Dim is not very light. Dim is a little bit darker. So if something is dim, it means it's darker. If you entered the dim room, it means there's some light, but it's not very bright. But it's not pitch black as well. It's the in-between bit, like quite dim light. Yeah, faded light. And then our last word is gust. It said a gust of wind blew the paper away. What do you think gust means? Think you know? Pause the video and write your answer down. So a gust is kind of just like a breeze of wind, a blow of wind. Yeah, it suddenly means kind of means it comes suddenly out of nowhere. It's a bit of a stronger breath of wind. So stronger breeze of wind, a gust, like a sudden gust blew the umbrella away, or a sudden gust of wind knocked me off my feet. It's a stronger breeze of wind that kind of comes out of nowhere. There we go. Had some quite difficult words today, didn't we, compared to normal? So we've had architect, someone who designs a building, scramble, to move in a quick, panic, desperate way, dim, as in to mean darker, and gust, to mean a strong breeze of wind. So there's 4 new words, 4 new pieces of vocabulary that we can take and remember and use in our own writing and our reading. Okay? Well done. So now we've predicted, we've read the book, and we've clarified. It's time to do some questions on the book. So here are the questions. I'll move myself back out of the way again. There we go. A little bit smaller. Fit just in there. Perfect. So, first question says, now remember with these questions, have a little go first. If you think you know the answer, if you can find the answer, try and do it, and then have a little listen to how I do it, okay? So number 1, what was the weather like in the start of the story? I should probably be at the start of the story, rather than in the start of the story. What was the weather like at the start of the story? Ooh, right. If you think you know, write your answer down. But if it says what was the weather like at the start of the story, at least I know where I'm going to go for my answer. I'm going to have to go to the start of the story here in chapter 1. Have a little quick read through there if you can, and see if you can tell me what was the weather like at the very beginning. Okay? Pause the video if you need some more time. I can see 2 things about the weather. I can see what temperature the weather is. Is it hot or is it cold? And I can see what type of weather it is. First of all, do you think it's hot or do you think it's cold? I think it's cold. And the reason I think it's cold is because it says here, a chilly wind rattled the golden leaves. And if you're chilly, it means you're a little bit cold. Okay? So I think it's cold weather. And it says right here, doesn't it? It's very windy. And we know later on it's a gust of wind that blows the paper away. So the weather at the start of the story is cold and windy. That's what the weather's like. So what was the weather like at the start of the story? Ooh. It was cold and windy. There we go. Perfect. If you just had one of those, still absolutely amazing. Well done if you found both. Good job. Okay, here's one that I bet you'll all be shouting at your screens for. What was the name of Iggy's cat? Okay, now if you can remember it, well done. But see if you can still go back to the text and find me the evidence. A little bit like a police person has to do. You can't just say, oh yes, I know this. You've got to have evidence, haven't you? So even if I think we all maybe might remember what Iggy's cat's called, but if you can just remember it, still go back to the book anyway and see if you can find some evidence to support that. Okay? Remember to pause if you need a little bit more time to do that. So what was the name of Iggy's cat? Now, I am pretty sure Iggy's cat was named Bricks, which is a clever name because if Iggy's an architect and he builds houses, then his cat's name being Bricks kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But I need to go back to the text and prove it. I can't just guess. So I need to, well, there's a meow. I've just spotted the word meow, so I bet it'll talk about the cat here. So let's go back to the beginning of the sentence. Here it is. Iggy's cat, Bricks, chased the leaves with a loud meow. There it is. There's my evidence that that is what Iggy's cat is called. So what is the name of the Iggy's cat? Bricks. There we go, which is a very clever name. Lovely. Question 3. It says, why did Iggy trip? Ooh. Why did Iggy trip? And again, if you just remember why he tripped, don't just write it down. Go and check your answer. Okay? Because there's a couple of things I think you might kind of accidentally swap out an answer that I think people might put by mistake. So why did Iggy trip? Go back to the text and have a little look for where he tripped. I'm going to do it too now as well. Let's have a little look. Now, our last two answers have been at the beginning of the text here, but I don't think this next one is at the beginning because Iggy didn't trip at the beginning, did he? He tripped towards the end. Well, that was him running down. Here we go. I'm going to read from the beginning. Meow, cried Bricks. Iggy and Bricks scrambled after the paper, moved panicked and desperately, which tumbled deeper and deeper into the dim or the dark woods. Whack! Iggy's sneaker hit a root and he tripped. Well, there we go. That's why Iggy tripped, because Iggy's sneaker hit a root. What's a sneaker? It's like the American word for a trainer, a trainee. It's like a sports shoe. So Iggy's shoe hit a root, and a root are the roots of the trees. Perfect, and that's why he tripped. It wasn't because he hit his leg on the statues. That wasn't why he tripped. That's why he stopped falling. He tripped because he got his foot caught on a root. So why did Iggy trip? His sneaker or his trainer hit a tree root. Perfect. Or something to that effect. If you said he tripped over a root, that works as well. Well done. Question 4, I've tried to be a little bit tricky with how I word it. So let's listen carefully. What were the 3 cat statues hiding under at first? Ooh. What were the 3 cat statues hiding under at first? Go back to the text, go to the very end of that last page where there's story on it, and go and see if you can find what were the cat statues hidden under. And then write your answer down. It's not a particularly difficult question, but I've just worded it in a bit of a strange way to try and throw some of you off. A bit mean on a Tuesday morning, but never mind. Right, I'm going to go back to the text as well now and have a little look. I wonder if anyone's found it already. So I'm going to carry on reading from here. Iggy slammed into something very hard beneath the leaves. He sat up and rubbed his shoulder. Ouch, he said. Bricks hissed. What's wrong? Iggy started. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew away the leaves and revealed what Iggy had hit. Whoa, he said, staring into a pair of stone-cold eyes. And it's the cats. So what were the cats hiding under? At first, they were hiding under some leaves because it's here we have two pieces of evidence to support that. It says Iggy slammed into something very hard beneath the leaves. Well, we know that very hard thing now was the cat statues. And here, a strong gust of wind, a strong blow of wind, blew away the leaves to reveal the statues. So, what were the three cat statues hiding under at first? They were hiding under leaves, and they were hidden under leaves, and no one could see them until Iggy bashed into them by accident. Okay, well done. 4 questions finished. The weather was cold and windy. The cat's name is Bricks. How did he trip? His sneaker hit a tree root. And what were the cat statues hiding under? They were hiding under leaves. Well done if you got any of those answers along with me as well. So we have predicted, we've read the book, we've clarified, we've answered questions. Time to do our last little task, which is our summary task. And this is what I'm going to leave you to do by yourselves. And you can draw a little picture for it. I think that'd be great. And maybe you can label it as well. And don't forget, you can send them all in to me. That would be brilliant. Your task for today, your summary task is, can you design your own ideal treehouse? So can you get some paper or do it on the paper that you're already working on? Can you design for yourself an ideal treehouse? What would be on your dream treehouse? If you could have anything, what would it look like? Draw it for me, label it, and then you're going to be a little bit like Iggy then, because you're going to be designing a house a little bit like an architect. Well done, year 1 and year 2. Thank you for joining me again this morning, and I will see you tomorrow where we'll carry on with our descriptive pieces of writing. See you later, everyone. Bye.